Russ, if we can, starting with Daniel Harvey, he's been in contact with COVID-19 with the Scotland under-21 squad. What's the issue at the moment?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a saga, really. We had to take him out on Saturday of the squad because of the advice we were given. Since then, we've had clearance from the EFL that he can come back into the squad today and back to training. They're comfortable that he's not had enough contact with a person. He's been at a safe enough distance. He's also been tested and he's been negative twice now. So really pleased. We're just listening to the guidelines from the EFL, and that's why we took him out as a precaution, just to make sure everyone was safe on Saturday, including Danny. And yeah, so really good, obviously, to have him back in the squad and available for tomorrow now. And to be honest, the club and Simon and Andy Cullen and Simon Crampton have been incredible the way they've dealt with the whole COVID protocols at our club, which is why we've been really fortunate. Well, not fortunate, which is why I've had no positive tests yet. And the way they're so strict every single day, and the way the players carry it out as well, with their masks on all the time and the separate changing rooms. As I've said to you before, it's not ideal for anyone, but we have to do it and we have to maintain that until we're told otherwise.
When you hear about breakouts at other clubs and the amount of breakouts in Milton Keynes, for example, it's easy to get carried away, isn't it? And wrap them up in the bubble, but they've still got to live as ordinary a life as possible, as everybody has.
Yeah, of course, and I think it's really changed this time round. The first lockdown, I don't think I knew anyone who had it. Now I think I know numerous people. It's well into double figures of people that have got it, and maybe that's because the testing's increased a lot. I don't know, but I think everyone's just a bit more cautious. The players know they have to be careful. They have to be careful of what the people they see, the people they mix with, because they're coming back into a really secure environment with the bubble they have here and the testing protocols, etc. But at the same time, you're right, Toby. They have to live their lives, and they have to. It's really difficult for everyone. The mental health, and we speak about it a lot. The well-being of the players is paramount. Not just their physical health and safety, but their mental as well. And it's been difficult again during this lockdown because a lot of these players haven't seen their family and loved ones, and you've got people who are having to isolate. Daniel is isolating from his partner at the minute because of the the COVID thing, so he hasn't seen her since he's been away from Scotland. So there's lots of factors that go into it, and we have to be conscious of. And the guys know that they just have to be sensible of whatever they're doing and stick to the guidelines. And to be to their credit, they've been brilliant.
In Daniel Harvey's position, though, Ben Gladwin's come in and I think has raised a few eyebrows. Not many people expected him to be able to play in that position, considering we've seen him at Don certainly playing a more central role, but he's really taken to that position, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he's been really good, Ben. Really pleased with him. It's with Ben we have to get the balance right of how often he can play and making sure he's at peak fitness to play. But he's done really, really well. I've been really pleased with him. It's no surprise to us. He played there for Luke at Swindon a lot as a left winger. It's where he earned his move to the Championship, playing there, and where he played a lot in non-league out wide. He can, he's such a good footballer. He can pretty much play anywhere, if I'm honest. And he, he was a really good solution to a problem when Danny and Regan were away, and he kept his place in the team after Sunderland, deservedly so. So. He's really capable at any of those positions across the top line, and it's just really good to have him back involved, and he'll get better and better with more minutes he gets on the pitch. We found a really good routine and rhythm to manage him during the week and make sure he's feeling good for a game, and hopefully that'll continue.
And in terms of his mentality, he mentioned in a few interviews we've had with him that having long-term injuries obviously does play on your mind. And how is he coping with finally being what we can see as back to fitness again?
Yeah, really well. He come back. I think the frustrating thing for Ben was he came back in such good shape in pre-season, got through the whole of pre-season, and then had a little setback, which was so frustrating because we all thought that was it. Now he's on the right road, and we'll get him going. So we have to manage things and you have to work things out. But he's he's in a really good place physically. He's in a really good place mentally. He's going to keep adding lots to our group, as you've seen in the time he spent on the pitch this season and last season. And he's in a much better place than he was last season, physically and mentally. He's in better shape. He looks really lean. He's such a good footballer and really respected by his teammates. So the more we can get him on the pitch in whatever position it is, the better for us.
How are your injuries getting on? We obviously saw Cameron Jerome coming off on Saturday.
Yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely. George is going to be back fully training with the group this week, which is great. So he'll need a bit of time, obviously, to get reintegrated and back to full fitness. But it's really good to see him back. And Cammy's just a knock. We took him off as a precaution, so he'll be fine for tomorrow. And yeah, I think he was feeling it a little bit early on in the game after taking a hit. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating really. But yeah, it is what it is, and he'll be back ready for tomorrow, which is good news. And then after that, I think we're slowly getting there. Joe Mason will be back with the group this week. And obviously Jaybird, he's had his operation, which was a success, and hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later. And Louis Thompson doesn't need an operation, which is great news, so he'll be out for less time than we first feared as well.
What was the issue with Jaybird?
Jay just took a whack against Eastleigh. He took a whack on his knee, and it just needed something doing. Not a huge operation, which is good news for him, but he needed something sorted, and he's got that sorted, which is great. So he started his rehab now, and hopefully he'll be ready for it. He had to go for a long period injured last year, and he's got the right mindset to attack it really quickly and get through it quickly, and be back with the group, because he was starting to look really good for us and really become a really good option for us.
It must be tough for these young players to have these long-term injuries before their career even can really kick start, because I think John Freeman obviously was out for a long time, wasn't he, with two big injuries, and similarly with Jack Davis as well, and now Jay. It must be massive for these young players to have to go through that so early.
Yeah, it's really tough, but I also feel it can be really in a strange way, it can be really beneficial to them long term in terms of their mentality, the resilience it builds in them, their appreciation for actually being able to play football day in, day out and do it as a job. That grows, that gratitude to be a professional footballer, because you spend so long out in the gym on your own, So I think, yeah, it's tough. It's really, really tough. But I think what John's done, what Jack's done, what Jay's done, they've used it as something to really drive them on, to build their resilience, to build their mental toughness, and to make them more robust moving forward. So, hopefully Jay's is just a minor setback and he can do that again. But, huge credit to those guys, because they've all come back stronger. And when you're injured as well for that time, you get, it's the only time really you get to work on your real weak areas physically, because the rest of the time you're maintaining yourself and making sure you're ready to perform once every 3 or 4 days. So yeah, they've all used it in the right way, and it is difficult, but what I would say, they've all approached it in the right way, and they will come out of it better, and I'm sure Jay will be the same again.
And I suppose there's plenty of experience in the dressing room with guys like Richard Keogh to tell them about how to deal with long-term injuries like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you've got loads in there who have been through it and lived that, and that what I would say is the older group of players we've got here are brilliant with the younger ones. Dean Lewington, fantastic. Richard Keogh, brilliant. Cameron Jerome. Andy Sermon will be the same. Lee Nichols, the way he is with Fish and some of the other, it's really, really good. Really good to see, and that's the culture we're trying to build. It's the culture we're getting to now, is where they manage themselves and they lead themselves, and they take on every bit of detail, and they're desperate to help each other, and it has to be the team first in whatever we do, and the young guys play a big part in that, because they're going to grow with us and be a really big part of the club's future.
Is there a better time to be playing Shrewsbury than tomorrow night, do you think?
Yeah, I think it works one of two ways. They're a team, obviously, find it difficult at the moment. It's one of those, isn't it? When teams are wounded, they can come out really fighting. I think it all depends on us, really, how we approach the game, how we start the game, and making sure we turn it into a game that we want it to be. And I say that every week, but I think it's true. I think Saturday we started really well. We're in their box on numerous occasions in the first 5 minutes, and then we concede. We then react really quickly, which we've done a lot this season, which is huge testament to the players. But we shouldn't have to do that. The two games we've got in front, we've won comfortably and limited teams to no shots on target. Unfortunately, we keep giving teams something to hang on to. For large parts of the game at 2-1, I just felt we were going to get into it. It was getting more and more open. We were creating more and more chances, and some really good ones. And then we can see the third one, which kills us. So we can't do that. We have to start the game better tomorrow. That's just it's a fact. I can't hide from that. The players can't. And it's not starting better. We just can't concede first. Early on especially. So it's about our approach to it, about our mentality. So whether they're really up for the fight or not, which I'm sure they will be, because in Sam they've got a really good guy and a really good manager who I respect and like a lot, and I'm sure they'll be the same with him, so they'll be wanting to fight for themselves and their league position. So but yeah, it's about us and our approach to it, and making sure that we put in a performance and get 3 points. It's as simple as that.
The game that you just sort of described there is almost what happened at their place last season as well, wasn't it? It was very much a game where you were on top and then got hit by a sucker punch and had to scramble to get a point out of it at the end.
Yeah, we did, and then I remember finishing the game really strongly. We had two brilliant chances to go and win it, and we should have, and it was a really good away performance actually. So it's going to be a tough game. They work extremely hard. We watched a lot of their game from Ipswich on Saturday, and they obviously led for a very, very long period against the team right at the top of the league. So they pose a threat for sure. They've got some really good players. You look at Mark Pugh, Charlie Daniels, Dave Edwards, players at top level experience. So despite their league position, it's not going to be an easy game at all. We have to work extremely hard, show more energy, more intensity than them, and make sure if we do that, we've got a right chance to win it. And I said to the players, I said to you guys after the game Saturday, for the last 2 weeks, if the players aren't convinced that they can compete with anyone in this league after the last 2 weeks, and I don't know what else we can show them to make sure they're aware of that, but all of it is off the basis of us working at a real high intensity, playing at a real aggressive pace with real purpose. And when we do that, we look like a really good team. So we have to make sure we transfer that, as I said, all the way along into results, and make sure that all of the hard work teams are doing to stop us isn't enough. Again, we played another team at the weekend who spent a lot of the time in their preparation, and a few of their players spoke to ours in trying to stop us. So we have to make sure that's not enough to beat us. And however the game goes tomorrow, whether they want to come out and have a go, whether they want to sit back, we have to find a solution to any problem we face, and we're prepared for that. Tactically, technically, mentally, we're prepared for that. So we have to make sure we find the right solution to the right problem tomorrow and win a game.
Nice one, thank you, mate.
No problem.